Hey everyone, welcome to Dungeon Class. I'm Gonzo.
And I'm Mark.
And we're here to talk to you about how to add tension to your campaign with diseases.
So, this is Dungeon Class, where we discuss ideas and content, how to make your game more fun. If you want to join the class, be sure and subscribe and hit the notification bell.
Awesome.
Disease, our favorite topic.
It is our favorite topic. It's a little bit in our minds right now.
Yeah, it's kind of on our mind, the coronavirus.
With the coronavirus going around. So
we should say our hearts and prayers go out to those that are suffering with that, and we don't want to make light of that. But it got us thinking as creators and DMs, like how that would influence our game, how we could use that to increase tension, how we create diseases, not coronavirus. How do we use disease to increase tension in our games?
And why do we want to increase tension in our games?
It makes it more exciting. It definitely drives the excitement level up.
Yeah.
Makes the danger level go up. Otherwise, it's just like, well, we're going to go to the store and go into town and do some shopping, and that's the boring stuff. And you want things to kind of amp up tension. And really, as a DM, you could look for opportunities like there's other ways to build tension. Fight, combat, all those kind of things, but sometimes you sit around and you can notice that they're all just kind of getting bored. You need to add tension.
Let's do something else. Yeah, let's add
change it up.
So we have some ideas there.
We do. Disease.
Page 250 class in your Dungeon Master's Guide.
Yeah.
Page 257 of your DM's guide actually talks about diseases, and I'm going to read a quick portion of that.
Okay.
A plague ravages the kingdom, setting the adventurers on a quest to find a cure. An adventurer emerges from an ancient tomb, unopened for centuries, and soon finds herself suffering from a wasting illness. A warlock offends some dark power and contracts a strange affliction that spreads whenever he casts spells.
So that really shows how a disease can really kind of come up in a game. You kind of sometimes you think about, when we think about disease, we think about those things that could come from rats comes from rats, could come from garbage, it could unclean living conditions. We kind of think of that, but I like how it highlights the idea of maybe a magic disease of some kind. It's magic has twisted things around into a disease that affects magic users maybe, or people who use magic. So there's all different ways you could use disease, and there's all different kinds of diseases. And actually the Dungeon Master's Guide gives us 3 examples to look at. There's a myriad of ways you could go with this, but they give us some good examples of some, and I like they go from being annoying to being really deadly and really bad.
So from hindering someone to actually being something that the players have to do something about away.
They got to do something about it. So, for example, cackle fever in there is something that's like you're afflicted with uncontrolled laughing, which reminds me of Joker, by the way.
The Joker.
So there's that, and it's kind of an annoying, but it could be a problem, right? I mean,
well, it definitely could be a problem, especially if you're a spellcaster and you have to use semantics where you're actually saying the words, expecto patronum or whatever, and you can't say the words, so because you're busy laughing, or if you're trying to be quiet or stealthy. Sorry about that. Or whatever. So I could see it being a problem, or social situations. If you're seriously trying to barter with someone and you keep laughing, or someone in your group continues laughing, you may start a fight. Which generally your players are trying to start fights anyway. So this may actually just add to the game.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
But it can definitely be used.
Yeah, and then they have the example of sewer plague. With sewer plague, that kind of reminds me of back when I played Elder Scrolls Online. You had not online, Elder Scrolls 3, Morrowind. I can never forget first time playing. I'm playing, all of a sudden I get bit by a rat and I got blight. I'm like, what the heck is blight? Right away it affected some of my ability scores, and then. But that's how the plague, the sewer plague is. It's kind of a thing that afflicts you from being in the sewers. You get bit by a rat, basically, and it starts to affect you. But what's interesting about this one, when in the video game, it was more of an annoyance. When you went to town, NPCs are like, "Oh, get away from me! You've got this plague." That was a cool aspect. But in this one, in D&D, the sewer plague version, it has exhaustion levels.
Right.
And now that starts to amp things up a bit. You're like, okay, exhaustion, that could be a real problem, because that could lead to death.
It could, and you start off with maybe just having disadvantage or something, but it gets worse and worse as your exhaustion continues to mount up. So it becomes a timer in the game by having one of these things.
Yeah.
Also, I think of the sewer plague or rats, and especially rats or that kind of thing, is it's also an ability, any kind of disease is an ability to, as a dungeon master, to use low-level bad guys and increase their effectiveness against high-level characters. So if if your 8th level band of adventurers run across a bunch of goblins that are terrorizing somebody, they're going to walk right in and wipe them out. But maybe they didn't know that those goblins had some kind of festering disease on them, you know, and so there's a little bit of a bite to what they, dealt with.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, there's that one, and then there's sight rot. Now, what does sight rot do?
Sight rot, that's the kind. So it's, again, you get bit by something, or you are afflicted by it, and you can start to lose your vision, which is bad. You know, you become blind. Yeah, right. So, right. So that could be very obviously, you can see that being a problem, and you're in the blinded state. Until you get, it looks like, I know short, a lesser restoration spell will take that. So that might be kind of annoyance or bad depending on whether or not you have access to lesser restoration.
And as the DM, you can really, it's up to you how effective you want this to be. This could be almost an instant thing in a dungeon. Yeah. They open up a chest and a yellow mustardy gas kind of explodes and everyone can't see for 1d6 rounds or something. They're just simply blinded, and while they're in a dungeon when there's other things happening going on. So you can take something like this and make it as deadly as you want it to be, depending on how much tension you're trying to bring to that part of the game, or as mild as you want it to be if you want it to be a hindrance.
Yeah, and hindrance, you can really have some fun with this. We were talking about this earlier. Maybe they have uncontrolled flatulence, and that's a thing. And I imagine
some of the players at our table have uncontrolled flatulence.
Yeah, that could be that is a disease that they may be able to relate to.
So they might as well,
or uncontrolled IBS or something. And a problem with they have to carry. You mentioned carrying a bag around with them.
Yeah, maybe a waste bucket.
Right.
They have to have that attached to them at all times in case of emergency.
Periodically run off into the forest or something, But you can see that could really start to annoy people and be a real problem. And at the DM, you decide how easy it is to lift that. Do you allow lesser restoration to be able to pick that, to lift that, or does it require a greater restoration spell? And I can tell you now, a greater restoration spell, they're not going to all have access to that, especially at early levels.
9th level cleric is the first one that could. So that could, again, you can affect your game by it becoming the disease, becoming the next plot point. Now they have to figure out a way to get rid of this thing that one of them or all of them have.
And that's where you can decide, do you want to make that, is it just going to be annoyance for the players? Something to just to throw in there and just to amp up the tension just here and there. That would probably be more of an annoyance kind of thing. Or it could drive your entire story, this is a thing that the land is dealing with. They need some kind of a flower that grows on top of the mountain that they have to quest to the top of that mountain. When they get there, they find, we'll just climb up there and get that. But yet there's a dragon that's guarding that flower.
Generally is.
Yeah, right, exactly. Of course, this place is plagued with dragons, apparently. That could be your whole story, that they have this, they got this uncontrolled flatulence thing, but they're all getting it. The whole entire land's getting it. And it's really becoming a problem.
At first, there's definitely not going to be any group settings if everyone has uncontrolled.
No. Everyone's going to want to stay at home.
Tight places, dungeons are a disaster. Yeah. Right. So you can add a lot of fun to your game, a lot of tension to your game. Tension equals fun in our experience by adding diseases. And we think it's a great idea. You should try it. Give us some of your examples in the comments below of some diseases or something you would do to make it more fun. And with that,
class dismissed.